Welcome to Transparency News. We're glad to have you join us for this special episode with Ambassador Muhammad Noor Rahman Sheikh, Ambassador of India to Lebanon. Welcome, Ambassador Sheikh, to Transparency News. We're honored to have you share your perspectives with our audience.
Thank you very much for having me here.
You're welcome. Yes. Let's talk first about bilateral relations and cooperation between our countries. How would you describe the current relations between India and Lebanon?
Well, India and Lebanon established the diplomatic relations in 1954.
Yeah.
And it has, completed 70 years already. Mm-hmm. This is the 71st year of the establishment of the diplomatic ties. I would say the relations is very good, very strong between both countries. And, it has fanned out in various aspects of the bilateral ties, political, economic, peacekeeping. We have a battalion in Indian, in UNIFIL for the last 26 years.
Yeah.
A battalion of more than 900 personnel, in Iblisaki, based in Iblisaki. We have, great relations in terms of people-to-people context, the cultural ties that we have. In trade and commercial ties is going very good, I would say. And as we go along, I think I'll give more data of it. But in a nutshell, I would say the relationship is great between both countries.
I understand that India is expanding its political and economic presence in Lebanon as part of its global strategy, right?
Yes, very much. In fact, I would say, the interest that is very much existing in both countries for the other country mutually is very, very high, I would say. Like there is this appetite, to enhance this strength, in all areas.
Yeah.
In the bilateral trade, for example, is about $500 million. In fact, 2 years before, it used to be about $600 million. And we believe that in a couple of years, it will cross $1 billion. And we feel that, Lebanese are very comfortable dealing with Indians. Indians are also similarly very, very, welcoming to deal with, a Lebanese business community and others. So many other aspects of it in terms of, capacity building. There are several scholarships offered by India for Lebanon, which is very popular. Yoga is again another very popular aspect of it. In terms of, the connectivity, a lot of travel is happening, for medical treatment as well as for tourism. Between both countries, like many Lebanese are traveling to India for it. We also believe that Indians are very keen to come to Lebanon. It's just I hope it will happen. As it used to happen in the past as well. Yeah.
It's very important to enhance the tourism between both countries. Is there a specific programs for Lebanese students or investors in India?
Well, what we call it ITEC program. This is the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program, where about 75 slots are allotted to Lebanon for a year. And there are another 20 plus slots for the LAF officers as well. These are, for training of, short-term courses, like for a week to about 2 months duration. Yeah. And this, scholars are provided all, free tickets, year travel tickets, accommodation, food, training costs. Training costs are borne by the government of India. These are, open to anyone in Lebanon between the age of 25 and 50, 55 or whatever.
That's great.
Yes, and from any field. It can be from media, it can be from healthcare, it can be from finance.
So we are invited.
Yes, certainly. So I would urge Lebanese friends of India to avail of these scholarships. To avail of this training facilities in India.
It's very important.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
What are the main initiatives that India offers to support Lebanon?
Well, you see, we have always been hand in hand with Lebanon in all its times of need. In fact, last year, 33 tons of medicines, were provided by India to Lebanon, and this was distributed throughout the country. Actually, we are currently working on certain huge impact projects. In terms of rebuilding building, mini sports facilities in Beka and in Navatia, for renovation of a hospital, in Kana, in South. We are working with, the Indian Battalion, for several projects around it area, Iblisaki, Seva, and Hasbaya and Marzayoun and those areas. We are working for a artificial, limb fitment camp, in Rafiq Hariri Hospital, which will happen in a couple of months now, to provide, artificial limbs to about 500 people who are affected by the conflict. We are working, in terms of enhancing, various aspects of culture. The great bonding between, first non-West Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore from India and the great Khalil Gibran. Their close ties are being relived. There's a portrait painting done by Khalil Gibran of Nobel laureate, Tagore.
He was influenced by Hinduism.
And Tagore was his close friend. They used to meet very regularly in New York.
And the theosophy.
Yes, and then the bust of Tagore has been made now. It will be installed in Bissari, in Gibran Museum soon.
Yeah.
So the context, the coordination, the support between Lebanon and India is very close. In the recent events of
one time Gibran once heard Tagore speak and later said, "I've never heard such divine music in speech." Yes. That's what he said about Tagore.
Yes, very much. Yeah. They used to meet regularly. They used to send letters to each other. Gibran used to make painting of Tagore. So it's a lot of writings are influenced by Tagore's conversations with him, Indian philosophy and things like that.
Yes,
very much.
Sure.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Your Excellency, how do you assess the effectiveness of UNIFIL mission in southern Lebanon?
Yeah, I would say for the last 26 years, the Indian Battalion has been part of the UNIFIL.
I know, you said this.
Yes.
But I would like to know your opinion about
they are very effective. I would say they are very effective. I think the mandate extension already. Government of Lebanon has requested UN to consider extension of the mandate.
Yeah.
I think all the member states, including India, will fully support this particular.
You support the extension.
We are hopeful for an extension of the mandate. In any case, we are very happy with how the UNIFIL has been doing for carrying out the peacekeeping activities and other developmental related works also. And I think along with LAF, the deployment of LAF, more deployment of LAF in the south, along with the support and coordination with UNIFIL, I think can go a long way in terms of bringing stability and peace and support for Lebanon. So I think UNIFIL is important. UNIFIL is important to bring in peace and stability and to bring that that kind of support to the state structure. Yes.
And what about the role of India in promoting peace and stability in the Middle East region?
You see, India.
All the Middle East region.
India would be one of the exceptional cases or countries which has great relations with almost all the countries of the region, and so we are able to talk to anyone. To calling for peace and stability. When the recent conflict was happening, the Indian foreign minister reached out to all the foreign ministers, and told them conflict doesn't or violence doesn't beget any kind of benefit. We need to bring in peace and calm. So I think we are very clear about our position. We believe in peace.
Yeah.
We believe in stability in the world. International order and stability is very important. And hence, there is where our relations with all of these countries in the Middle East. We convey to them that very strongly that peace is the need of the hour. We need to focus on the development of the of the people, of the growth and development, not in terms of violence and other conflicts and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's a time to end the conflict forever.
Yeah.
And give the people of the region the chance and opportunity for peace and growth. And the people are so much talented. I see it in Lebanon. I've been here for the last 2 years, and people are so much talented. They are full of zeal and enthusiasm. But the people need to be given that opportunity for peace, for growth and development.
Yes.
I think this is where our relations with all these countries in the region, we try to kind of bring that aspect of peace in the middle of it, and say that stability in the region is very important.
Yes. And how do you see the future of relations between India and Pakistan?
You see, Kati, when the terrorist attack happened, in April, in Pahalgam, in Kashmir, where 26 civilians were killed, very mercilessly by those terrorists. India's position was very clear. Yeah. India's position was that a country cannot support or send terrorists to attack another country. Terrorism cannot be a state policy. So we have come up with 3 cardinal principles now. One, any terrorist attack on India will not go unanswered, will be replied, will be responded to very, with the right force required. Yes. 2, we cannot be allowed to be, blackmailed using nuclear weapons. You cannot say that, one country cannot say that we are a nuclear power country, so we don't attack us, we'll use it. We will not allow that kind of nuclear blackmail to happen. And third principle that has been elaborated by our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, is that terrorists cannot be allowed to function in a state. The state cannot say that, they are non-state actors, we cannot do anything, because they are operating in your lane, from your territory. So you have to control that. Yes. So these are the principles that we are working. Yes. Other thing is, as far as our talks or any kind of future ties are concerned, it is just that they need to stop supporting terrorism. Yeah. Right? You cannot have talks and terrorism going hand to hand. Mm-hmm. You have to decide to stop terrorism. Mm-hmm. And 2, as far as the other things are concerned, they need to give back our Kashmir, which are occupied by them from 1948 onwards. That's a part of Kashmir which is under the occupation of Pakistan. So these are the 2 things that we are very clear about this relationship. Otherwise, we believe,
believe in dialogue between both countries?
See, this is what I said. Dialogue cannot go hand in hand with terrorism. Yeah. They have to stop. They have to show the tangible results of stopping support to terrorism. That's very, very important. Other thing is that, there's nothing to talk about actually. There's nothing, no issue there.
When you resolve these problems, there is nothing to talk
exactly.
about.
I mean, you give back the Kashmir part to us. You give, you stop the supporting terrorism. That's it. That's enough. Yes. And we are very. I would also like to use the opportunity to thank the Lebanese government, for condemning the terrorist attack in India. Yeah. The foreign ministry issued a statement condemning that. We are very grateful for it. We appreciate that. We also support the letter of condolence issued written by the foreign minister. Mr. Joseph Razi to our Foreign Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, on the loss of lives of the Air India crash, in June. So, and then we have seen that there's a lot of exchange of letters between, political leaders and high leaders between the President Joseph Aoun, His Excellency General Joseph Aoun, and our Prime Minister, between our President and the President here, between the, leaders, speakers. Yes. Between various foreign minister, our foreign minister and the foreign minister here. So there's a lot of exchanges of communication, letters, things like this, which indicates very clearly that the interest of both countries to strengthen the relations, and understanding each other's positions very well. And we support each other in elections in the United Nations bodies, multilateral fora. And we are also very thankful to the support of Lebanon for supporting India's, nomination for, Maratha military landscapes in UNESCO. Yeah. This is just last week. Yeah. So this was supported, Culture Minister was very kind to respond to our request to support, India's nomination. Yeah. So there's a lot of support that goes on. India also supports candidatures of Lebanon in various fora. Yes. So this support is very, very intense actually.
Great. Your Excellency Sheikh, can the recent escalations affect the stability of South Asia or India's broader regional engagement? I mean the escalation between India and Pakistan.
See, I just explained to you, our point is, we have great relations with all the
but I'm talking about the region.
So in the region we have great ties. If you talk about Nepal, if you talk about Bhutan, Bangladesh, the relations are getting better. Sri Lanka is much better, quite good. With Iran, with Afghanistan, we have no issues actually if you see the region. And then, of course, we extend it into the Gulf and Middle East. We are fine. It's just that as far as Pakistan is concerned, I told you, those are the 2 things. They need to stop supporting terrorism. Yes. They need to return the occupied part of the Kashmir to India. That's it. I think that's fine.
I got you. Yes. How does India position its India, Middle East, Europe corridor initiative in comparison to China's Belt and Road Initiative.
See, India. This was announced during India's presidency of G20. In October 2023 in Delhi. When this was announced, the IMEC initiative, the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, a map was also, got published. And then very much Lebanon is part of the Middle East.
Yes.
Why wouldn't Lebanon be benefited by such a corridor?
Yes.
When you're talking about a corridor, you're basically meaning to say that all this, movement of goods and services,
yes.
Between India and to the rest of the world can go through this corridor.
Yes.
So, why not? Because when the details, it's an idea. It's an idea which has been now, announced. Now, when the actual implementation starts, obviously that will also require peace and stability to be there. So many constructions would happen, so many infrastructure developments would happen, both by sea routes as well as by rail and by road and things like that. And with the location of Lebanon in such a very nice, geographical, central location, I would say. Europe is so close from here. It's right in the Middle East. Africa is quite close by. So I think Lebanon, with the resilience, with the energizing population it possesses, I'm sure, why not? I mean, like, Lebanon in the long run can certainly become a part of this, infrastructural development.
Yeah.
I don't see any conflict from there. See, as far as BRI is concerned, we always feel that unlike IMEC, where we are not looking at influence of one country against another. It's for people to see what BRI offers. So for us, I think IMEC is a very selfless approach of connecting all the countries around from Asia to the Europe and beyond, actually. And certainly Lebanon...
so you don't see any competition between the Indian initiative and the Chinese initiative?
This is a subject of great debate, I would say. It's a topic of great debate, and because the corridors don't cut each other. If you see IMEC, as I say, like, it comes from India through the Arabian, sea, comes into, Jebel Ali in UAE, and then goes across the Arabian, Gulf, through Qatar and, Saudi Arabia, and, comes into Jordan, and then goes towards the Mediterranean Sea and goes into Europe. So this portion doesn't have any BRI, for example. So that basically shows that the unity among these countries, that the support for each other, for development, for mutual benefit, and things like that. So I think, I believe that IMEC has a great future, and certainly Lebanon, I'm sure, can benefit from it in a very big way. As the infrastructure development, starts happening, because now it's a concept. It has to, a lot of work has to be, laid down for it. I'm sure, yes, it will be beneficial.
Yes, Your Excellency, you're almost here in Lebanon around 2 years ago.
2 years now.
Are you happy in Lebanon?
I'm happy. Now more happy, because now the conflict has ended.
Yes. You think it's ended
I think so. I think so. And then with the president, in General Joseph being a great leader with a great vision for the country, and a very competent government in place, led by His Excellency Nava's Salam and all his competent ministers in the cabinet, and all the senior positions in the government being filled by very competent people, whether it be the governor of the central bank or of the LAF, general and other generals. Yes. So I feel that the country is going in the right direction. There's now a lot of focus on digitalization of services, for example. There is a lot of focus on transparency. A lot of focus is on bringing the system. Yes. I think one has to make a start. One has to make a beginning. One has to remain hopeful and optimistic. Otherwise, if one keeps on, rigging, saying that the country had bad practices, so cannot grow, then I think that's not a correct scenario. I think one has to be hopeful, and one has to make that. And I think the government is making that right moves. By making those foundations, making those correct statements, making those policy decisions, reforms, the banking reforms and other reforms being put in place. And the good thing I see here is that the great debate that takes place. I think it's a very good thing. So people become aware of both sides of the argument. So I think it's a great thing that the media is very free here. It's very, very open.
Yeah.
Social media is very active here. So I think it's a...
Because you have been in Saudi Arabia before.
I was there for 8 years.
That is a difference between the freedom of media.
Every country has their own, what do you call it, way of governance, way of, looking at things and, things like that.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't say that, this model is better or the other one is just saying. So I think every country has their own, rules.
A diplomat answer.
Because for us, Saudi Arabia is also a very close country.
Yes.
A very important partner for us.
I know. And this country is a very good friend of Lebanon.
Yes, certainly.
And we love it too much.
Certainly.
And we appreciate it as well. And how do you assess the social life in Lebanon?
It's very active. I mean, I was, even during the conflict, I could see that, Beirut and north of the country, life was like, quite, going on, this people are very, very social, I would say. People are very, very culturally very rich. And people are value life. They know how to value, what is in store for the life. So I think that's a very good way of looking at it. So they're very hopeful. And then it's a great thing that conflict has ended, and I hope the region gets back to normalcy, gets back to peace and stability. I mean, the Lebanese people are smart people. I mean, I always believe in that. With a population of about 5 million people, you have 35 universities.
Yeah.
I have seen in many places where you have so much population, number of universities are much lesser. Mm-hmm. The standards are very high. Of course, it may be one may be French educated, one may be English educated, it's a different thing, or Arabic educated, it's a different thing. But in terms of the quality of the education, it's very, very, very high, I would say. People are so good in finance, in medicine, in engineering, management, business. I mean, my daughter is journalism. My daughter is in AUB. She says it's a great university. She's enjoying it thoroughly. So I believe that, that the country offers a lot of things, for the future, and a very location of it. Like for India, when it reminds me of this tourism and connectivity. Air India used to fly from Beirut to Mumbai. There used to be direct flight, from Mumbai to Beirut to Sydney. So we believe that once things become conducive, we have a resumption of a direct flight between Lebanon and India. That will kind of enhance that connectivity, the tourism, business, visits, high level visits and things like that. Yes. For sure.
It will be very good, very important to Lebanon. Would you like to talk about another topic before closing our interview?
Well, I feel that this the country, Lebanon. I have thoroughly enjoyed my stay here in Lebanon. People are very nice, and I'm very hopeful of a peace and stability in the country. I'm also very happy to see the popularity of yoga here. Myself being a practitioner of yoga for many years now. Yes. Whenever we conduct International Day of Yoga in the month of June, the participation is very, very welcoming. Last month we had about those 8 events across the country. In Al Jalta and in Beirut, in Byblos and Nakura, Iblisaki, everywhere. So more than 2,000 people participated in that. There are 30 yoga studios here. The legacy as a site between Tagore and Gibran will work towards reliving it for many years to come. The scholarships that exist, I'll appeal through this interview. People can take advantage of this. One can get in touch with our embassy and will help in those nominations. So I am quite optimistic at the strengthening of the ties between India and Lebanon becoming a very, very peaceful and very stable country to be able to grow and develop very well.
Ambassador Sheikh, I would like to express my deepest appreciation for your time and for the valuable information. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.